Vince Gill is a name synonymous with country music, a voice that has soothed generations, and a heart that resonates with the pain and joy of life. Behind his chart-topping hits and 22 Grammy Awards lies a journey not of easy fame, but of raw emotional depth that transcends the music he creates. As the voice behind Go Rest High on That Mountain, Vince's songs have offered comfort to those navigating grief. Yet, few know the personal tragedies that shaped him. His story is not just one of musical triumph, but of enduring loss, personal sacrifice, and a quiet strength that has defined his entire career. From surviving loss at a young age to making difficult personal choices, Vince Gill's life mirrors the songs he writes, beautiful, broken, and ultimately healing. The tragedy that shaped him, loss at a young age. In 1968, Vince Gill was an 11-year-old boy living in Norman, Oklahoma. His childhood was filled with the simple joys of school, family, and music. His father, a federal judge and amateur musician, played alongside him, nurturing Vince's budding love for music. However, Vince's world was forever altered with a single phone call. His half-brother, Bob Cohen, had been in a car accident, leaving him in a coma for months. When Bob awoke, he was no longer the vibrant brother Vince once knew. The accident left Bob with severe brain damage, and the once lively man was now a shell of himself, unable to care for or communicate with anyone. This was a loss that was not just physical but emotional, a rupture that would haunt Vince for years. Watching his family, especially his mother, silently grieve the loss of the person they once loved left an indelible mark on Vince, one that would shape his music for the rest of his life. A family shattered by grief. Bob's long struggle. Bob's recovery was a slow and painful journey. For 25 years, Vince watched as his brother remained in a state of permanent disability, a shadow of the person he had once been. Vince's grief didn't end with Bob's passing in 1993. The pain of losing someone so vital and full of life never truly faded. Vince's song, It Won't Be the Same This Year, from his Christmas album Let There Be Peace on Earth, captured the essence of that grief. In the song, Vince channeled his sorrow and longing for the brother he had lost, not just in death, but through the long years of watching him slip away. It became a way for Vince to process the emptiness left behind. He later reflected, saying, "Every time I sing that song, I see that 11-year-old boy again." This tragedy, a silent sorrow, carved out the space for the tenderness in Vince's voice and the authenticity in his songwriting. Turning down fame, a life-changing decision. By the late 1980s, Vince Gill had already established himself as a talented musician in Nashville. He had played guitar for Pure Prairie League and fronted the band for a while, but his solo career was still in its early stages. Despite releasing albums, his music didn't yet achieve commercial success. He had the talent and the recognition of his peers, but the charts remained indifferent. Then came an offer that would have changed everything. Mark Knopfler, the legendary frontman of Dire Straits, wanted Vince to join the band. At the time, Dire Straits was at the peak of their success, with worldwide tours and a string of hit albums. It was a tempting offer, a chance for fame on a global scale. However, Vince hesitated. He knew that joining the band would mean leaving behind the chance to tell his own stories. His decision to turn down this opportunity was not just professional, but deeply personal. As he later explained, "I knew that once I went down that road, I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't be me anymore." The breakthrough. Finding his own voice. Turning down a career-changing offer in favor of staying true to himself proved to be a gamble. In the years that followed, Vince had moments of doubt. He played small venues and sometimes found himself opening for larger acts, but not yet a headliner himself. However, in 1989, Vince released When I Call Your Name, a deeply personal album that not only found commercial success but also catapulted him into the country music spotlight. The title track, a tender ballad about heartache and longing, showcased Vince's emotive voice and storytelling prowess. It won him his first Grammy and marked a turning point in his career. Vince's decision to forgo the easy road of fame and stay true to his craft was vindicated. He had carved out his own space in country music, one that was based on authenticity rather than chasing hits. A scandalous romance. Love amidst public scrutiny. In 1993, while filming Christmas with Vince Gill, Vince met Amy Grant, the queen of Christian pop. What began as a professional collaboration soon blossomed into a deep emotional connection. Vince, known for his warm and compassionate nature, struck a chord with Amy. They performed together effortlessly, and their chemistry was undeniable. However, both Vince and Amy were married at the time, Vince to Janis Oliver, a member of the country duo Sweethearts of the Rodeo, and Amy to fellow Christian singer Gary Chapman. The growing attraction between the two was subtle but powerful. Despite their strong emotional bond, they both remained committed to their marriages, navigating the difficult balance between public expectations and private emotions. Over time, their personal relationships began to unravel. Vince and Janis divorced in 1997, and Amy and Gary followed suit 2 years later, facing judgment, the fallout from their divorce. The timing of their divorces, coming as they did within 2 years of each other, fueled speculation. The public narrative quickly turned to scandal, especially in Amy's case, as her career in Christian music had been built on values of marital fidelity. Radio stations pulled her songs and fans expressed their dismay. For Vince, the backlash was quieter, but still painful. Both artists found themselves judged harshly, with the public assuming the worst of them. Vince later reflected on the painful experience, saying, "What hurt the most was that people assumed the worst of us. And it wasn't true. We weren't reckless. We were human." Despite the public judgment, Vince and Amy remained steadfast in their love for each other. They married in 2000, in a small intimate ceremony at Vince's home in Nashville, away from the cameras and the noise. It was a moment of quiet love, a testament to their resilience in the face of public scrutiny. Joining the Eagles, a dream come true. In 2016, when Glenn Frey of the Eagles passed away, the future of the iconic band seemed uncertain. Vince Gill, a lifelong admirer of the Eagles, had performed their songs in tribute concerts and even covered some of their tracks during his own performances. In 2017, Vince was invited to join the band for the Classic West and Classic East shows. The invitation was a momentous one. Vince had long admired the Eagles' songwriting and harmonies, and joining the band wasn't about replacing Glenn Frey, but about honoring his legacy. Vince took the stage with reverence, singing with the same care and precision that Frey had brought to the band's music. The result was magical. Vince's performance was met with standing ovations and tears from the audience. While some fans were skeptical of a country singer stepping into a rock institution, Vince chose to ignore the noise. As he put it, "For me, it's about honoring Glenn, honoring this music, and keeping it alive for people who love it. Caring for Amy, love in the face of adversity." In 2020, Vince's love for Amy was put to the test in a way neither of them could have anticipated. During a routine checkup, Amy was diagnosed with a rare, congenital heart defect, necessitating open heart surgery. Vince was by her side through the entire process, offering unwavering support during her recovery. As the pandemic complicated things, Vince couldn't be with her in the hospital, which only deepened his sense of responsibility. When Amy fell off her bike in 2022 and suffered a traumatic brain injury, Vince dropped everything to care for her once again. His dedication to her recovery spoke volumes about the depth of their bond. Through these trials, Vince's love for Amy only grew stronger as he became both her caregiver and emotional rock. Their relationship, marked by faith and quiet devotion, was a testament to the power of love and resilience, reinventing his music, writing from the heart. At 67, Vince Gill is still creating music that resonates with authenticity and emotional depth. After decades in the industry, he is no longer chasing chart success, but instead focusing on writing songs that matter to him and his listeners. In a recent interview, he said, "I'm writing the best songs of my life now, but they're not the ones that will top the charts. They're the ones that matter." His recent work, including Forever Changed, is deeply personal, reflecting his experiences and the people he has loved. These songs are a reflection of his growth as an artist and as a person. Vince's songwriting today is rooted in observation, not judgment. He embraces vulnerability and finds joy in playing with younger collaborators. His music is no longer about fame or accolades, but about telling his truth. A life marked by devotion, music, and grace, Vince Gill's journey is one of remarkable resilience. Through personal loss, public judgment, and health crises, he has emerged not just as a country music legend, but as a man who has lived his life with grace and devotion. His music, shaped by his struggles, triumphs, and unwavering love for those closest to him, speaks to the human experience in all its complexity. Vince's legacy isn't defined by the number of hits or awards, but by the depth of his heart and the truth in his music. It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest gift a person can give is simply to be true to themselves and those they love.